Hi, this is Miss Grabsky. So this video is how to research and how to cite your sources for the Element project. Any project links are going to be found on the Element project quick links. This is an old screenshot, so it's updated now, but anything that you will need for this project will be linked on this web page, which is on Google Classroom. So, for this element project, we are going to be researching. So, you have a set list of approved resources. So, a lot of this initial planning part for the research is kind of already taken out for you, right? So, you're really going to be starting at step three, conducting the research. The sources have already been pretty much evaluated, so you're going to be conducting research, organizing your data, and coming up with your presentation to present. So we're really working on skills three, five, and six for this project. So, since the resources are chosen for you, you're limited to our approved digital resources. So no Google, AI, any unimproved digital sources will be allowed for this project. The sources linked below are all of the approved ones that we will be using. So to access the databases, so right here, it's all organized by type of source. Cavendish, World Book Online, and Facts on File are all databases. For these three sources, you will use the following login information: the username tenaflyms and the password library. Your Tenafly Google account information is not going to work on these websites. You need to use the library login information. Okay? These web pages below are approved. Now, the good thing about the databases is that they will provide citations. Some of these web pages below might not have a citation available, so you're going to have to use a citation creator. Okay? So, these are all linked on the approved digital resources. Okay. This is what Cavendish Squared Digital will look like. You're going to log in using the library login. So log in using ClassLink, use your username, Tenafly Middle School, and the password library. And then on Cavendish, there's actually an elements page. Once you click on, you're going to find your element in research. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this presentation and actually click on Cavendish. So if I'm on the approved, we'll actually use the quick links first. So this is what the quick links currently look like. If I click here on Element Project Research Resources, these are all the approved digital resources. So on the approved digital resources, I can see all of the databases, which is nice. We're going to start with Cavendish. So I'm going to close this so we don't have a crazy amount of tabs. The username is Tenafly Middle School and the password is library. Okay, and I'm going to log in. Do not log in with Google. Okay, it's going to give you that warning. Okay, so now I'm on elements. So let me pick an element that no one has. Let's say my element is lead. So I would click on my element, and this whole web page is all really good information. There's different pages. So talking about lead in the ancient world. So you're going to use this whole resource using all the sections to research. So you're going to have to determine based on the information where that's going to go in your research notebook. So, for example, um, if I'm opening my notebook, like atomic structure, if we're talking about like, let's see. how many protons it has, I would write 82 protons, right? And then you might talk about, the isotope in atomic structure. So I would put my bullet point here and I would say how many protons it has for my source. Um, okay, so yeah, you're going to use all these tabs and take all the information in your notebook that's relevant for your project. Cavendish is nice because it lets you listen to the page. It also has pictures that might be nice. You can use any of these pictures for your presentation. So you can click on them, take a screenshot. Um, Windows Shift S will take a screenshot, and then you can add them to your presentation. Okay. Cavendish has a Cite button. So you're going to hit this Cite button in MLA, and this is exactly what you're going to copy down in your notebook on the works cited key. So for your works cited key, which is page 2, you have your color symbols for your bullet points. And for the name of source, this is where you're putting that full citation. Your full citation will go right here, just like that. And then for type of source, you would say, is it a web page, is it a database, or is it a book? Um, this is so that we can keep organized when we're taking our notes in our notebook. So we know that this yellow bullet point comes from this source. So the databases are nice because they give you the citation for you. So that's Cavendish. It has a lot of information. It's a great resource. Now let's go on to World Book Online. So you're going to do the same thing using ClassLink, same username, same password. You're going to click on World Book Student, search for your element, and start researching. So let's show you what that quickly looks like. So if I'm going here, World Book Online, I need to use Tenafly Middle School, and the password is library. Sign in. It's going to give me that warning every time. You want to click on student. And then let's say my element is lead. So I'm going to search in lead. And here is a whole bulk of information on my element. So same thing. This database, I believe, will even read it for you, which is nice. When you're in, the text, you can highlight for yourself. Great. They have good pictures as well that you can take for your presentation. And then it'll give you any related information to your element. So you might be able to get additional resources, which is really nice. To find the citation on World Book Student, you're going to click this cogwheel, and right here will give you the citation button. It's also nice, it also has a translate feature, but for citation, I would click citation. And then right here is exactly what I would copy down for my works cited key. So, like again, right here, I would copy that down under the name of source. That's where I put my name, my citation. Okay. Sorry, clicking around. So that's World Book Student. Now let's look at facts on file. If it will let me click. Um, because this is my document, it's like being weird. So let's go facts on file and Tenafly Middle School Library. Okay. So once you get to facts on file, you are going to scroll down to Science Online. Okay. When you get to Science Online, that's when you can search your element in the search bar. So I'm going to search lead. And wow, it's going to give me a bunch of different information. So here is an option, and you can click on any of them, and you'll get more information on your topic. So I can read through this and pick through any information I would want. I will say Facts on File is a little bit more advanced. If you think the reading level is a little too high, please let me know and I will feel free to level it down for you. But on Facts on File, they give you the citation button as well. And this is exactly what you're copying it down for your citation. So, um, what do you do? Um, so we just did Facts on File as well. Like I said, this resource is a little bit more advanced. So if you think that the reading is a little too challenging, let me know and I'll find you an appropriate reading level. So, our works cited key, you want to do this as you're finding resources, right? So for your first notebook check, you will need to have 2 resources completed. That means you will need to look through the whole resource and gather any relevant information, any and all relevant information for your project. Okay? So how to cite your sources. You will be finding your citations on the web pages or websites. If found on the web page, you're writing that citation down, right, in your works cited section of your notebook. If you can't find the citation, you're going to go to this step. So if you cannot find it on the website, you're going to create it using mybib.com to cite your sources. Once you have your source completed, write it down in the works cited section of your notebook. So let's look at one of the resources that I keep clicking on this project calendar. Great resource. Let's click on P table. So, oh, it's not letting me click anything now. So if I click on P table, great resource. It has a cool button where it will show you the compounds. So if I wanted to look at carbon, I can do carbon, drag it here, and then it tells me everything that it makes a compound with, right? If I do helium, none of them light up. So that's pretty cool. So let's say I get all this information. Here's my um, here's lead. I actually don't want to be, I just want to be in properties. So let's say I'm taking my information and I'm taking this all up. And let's say, oh, I need the melting point. How do I cite this source? So this website doesn't have a pretty easy citation. So I'm going to need to use mybib.com. So it's just mybib.com. This is linked in your Element Project quick links if you need it. So I'm going to cite a website. So for p-table, I would take p-table, Control C, and then I would paste this in because this is a website. Then I would hit search. So nice. This is the website that I'm using. So I'm going to click this and it's going to generate my citation. So this citation right here is exactly what I would copy down into my works cited key. Okay, so it would go right here. And then type of resource would be a web page because it's a website. Here are other examples. So for printed materials, you're going to do the same thing. So if you find your book, Is it gonna let me start a new project? New citation. You can do a book and you're just going to search for your book title. And you may, if it's not on here, it should be on here. You might have to end up entering the information manually, but mybib.com is going to walk you through it and it's pretty easy. Um, Let me think of, I mean, like, let's just search um, lead element. Let's search. Let's see if we can find. Oh, wow. This is the book that I'm using. Okay. So you would use this information. Wow, that's the author of the book that I found. Here's the date published. Um, And then you can just add any additional information that you have using the book. If not, that's okay. And then I would hit save, and then wow, here is my citation. So perfect. If you have any questions, let me know. I am available for extra help. But that is my bib. That is the expectations for how to research, right? You're not just finding your sources and stopping, right? You want to fill your notebook with any relevant good information. Especially, let's see if it still logs me into Cavendish. Like, there is so much information. So, since there is so much, you might want to do the listen feature and do your bolded notes while you're listening. Find any relevant information. So making sure that the information is important and is going to be helpful for your project, right? So fills holes and coats surfaces. This might be a perfect, resource or section in this database for uses. Like, what is my element used for? Right? And then this is other uses of Vario. So I might want to pick and choose between these two sections of what information I want to include inside the atom. This is all going to be great information for my atomic structure section, right? Or obtaining the elements using electricity. So this could be a fun fact or extra additional information. Okay. So you are going to have to use your scientist brain and really think, oh, where would this information go through my different categories in your notebook, right? Since we have, you know, atomic structure, physical properties, chemical properties, history, where is it found? Uses and importance and compounds and interesting facts and extra information, right? So you want to research and read, and then decide where this information is going in your research notebook. Okay. Um, Good luck. I believe in you. And make sure you're checking this calendar and using the project quick links to find everything you need for this project. Bye bye.